Okay, we're a little bit late starting today due to a few technology glitches with the fact that we tried to remote one counselor in. I think we mostly got it figured out, so we'll get going here. It is 6:38, and I'd like to say that we as the City of Winkler acknowledge that we're situated on Treaty 1 land, the home of the Anishinaabe, the Cree, the Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that have been made on these territories. We acknowledge that
You guys' mic is all muted.
happened. We dedicate ourselves to a future based on respect of all people, including Indigenous communities, in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration, moving forward to a harmonious and prosperous future together. That said, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Andrew?
Andrew, a second.
Marvin?
Marvin, do we have any changes or additions to the agenda? Not seeing any. All in favor? That is carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of November 8th, 2022 be adopted. Mover?
Don Fair.
Second.
Peter.
Any comments or notes on those minutes? Not seeing any. All those in favor? And we are carried. Couple of pieces of correspondence there. The municipal relations expression of interest for a childcare expansion space. Maybe help us understand that a little bit, Jody. Reading through it, obviously they're looking for up to 8 different centers. There's some pretty significant requirements to step forward to even express interest.
Correct.
Discussion on this internally, staff-wise.
No discussion on this
Okay.
one yet. Just wanted to make you all aware that this came through. And if you so direct, we will look into it and see if there's, and I mean, the need, we know there's need for childcare spaces, but do we have the wherewithal to work within this program? That's something that we certainly can check out.
I think I remember we had a presentation by the Boundary Trails Foundation, and at that time we became aware that there's no childcare space designated for the new addition.
Correct.
I guess when I read this, I was wondering, and we might be able to investigate if there would be property on their property that they would be able to be interested in partnering with us on this, because it certainly is very, very important. I know of when for instance, a nurse is called, "Can you come and do a shift?" Says, "I can't because I can't find childcare." And so it is that would be something that would really be helpful. I know when the province has built the last 2 schools in the city, it was a mandated childcare service attached to that, and so it could make a lot of sense to be able to work out something with that. Then that, if there was enough space there, it could be that could meet some of the space requirements, the land requirements, and maybe some of the capital if that was possible. So.
Yep, we will do that.
I think it would be a really good idea as well, Jody, to share this with our existing daycare providers to find out what kind of need they feel and what kind of waiting lists they have, and are there some opportunities potentially to partner with one of them on something like this as well. Obviously, the land and the rent-free, or at least the rent-free component, and a few things that need to be provided there. There's significant involvement, but it is an opportunity for up to 8 in Manitoba. So it is a good opportunity, potentially, depending on.
You guys' mics are muted.
Thoughts or comments?
No, I agree as well. We need to check with the other stakeholders to see if they're on board with this and what the needs are, and I like what Marvin said about utilizing the hospital area there, because that's one of the high demand areas that would help in more than one way to provide childcare, but encourage people to, in the healthcare industry, to come through.
Okay. Next item there in correspondence is the dispatch letter and fee schedule. Obviously, this is for telecoms dispatch that we have. Our rate isn't changing for 2023, other than our population is higher. So the physical cost to the city of Winkler is higher, but the actual cost per capita has not changed. So that's a pretty good piece, I thought.
Yep.
No other comments? Winkler Senior Center has shared their December 22 newsletter for your viewing and reading entertainment.
No, just a quick comment on that,
Please.
seeing them on the board. Their floor curling and pickleball and all that is going gangbusters. Like, they're talking about, busing them over to Meridian Exhibition Center if we could get pickleball inside of there. Would be a wonderful thing. But yeah, it's since the pandemic has ended, they are a lot of activities happening there, so that's a good thing.
Very nice. I noted with interest that amazingly beautiful picture of waffle that they had there. So December 12th at 10 a.m., I may find my way over there to enjoy one of those.
But even their meals, like their congregate meals, I think they're like $8 for a meal, and you get a fairly good portion of food there with dessert for $8. So it's well worth just going for that.
Nice.
Yeah, if you've never been there for waffles, I would suggest you go. I've been there. It's very good.
Very nice. Continuing on then, we'll move into finance. Be it resolved that accounts payable in the amount of $1,530,673.95 as approved by the Finance Committee be approved for payment. Mover?
Andrew?
Second.
Peter?
The check register is attached if you have any questions.
It's a lot of checks.
It's a lot of money. All those in favor? That is carried. Behind that, be it resolved that the finance report for October 2022 be received for information. Mover?
Andrew?
Second.
I can help.
Marvin? Any comments on what you see there? As always, an extremely comprehensive report from David. Provides a lot of details and gives us some decent guidance in terms of where we will expect to finish at the end of the year. Based on a few things going our way, it looks like there'll be a decent surplus, but I looked at a couple of numbers there, and if in fact a few things hadn't gone our way, it might be pretty tight this year.
Just strictly on an O&M budget, it's very close. Yep.
Further down, you'll see utilities as well. Yeah, anybody have any questions or further comments on that? Not seeing any. All those in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting of November 17th, 2022 be adopted. Mover?
Andrew?
Second?
Don Fair? Oh, go ahead.
Don Fair got it. Any comments on that? You'll see the minutes attached. All those in favor? And that is carried. Takes us to item 8.1. Be it resolved that the Swamp Board minutes for the November 16th, 2022 meeting be received for information. Mover,
Peter?
second.
Michael?
Any thoughts on what we see in front of us?
One of the highlights of the meeting was that the general manager suggested that we send 5 firefighters between Morden and Winkler to attend the landfill fire training course.
Excellent.
Perfect.
So- And the swamp will cover the cost. I think it's not a huge burden on us, on swamp. And,
good
swamp
idea.
will cover cost.
Sending those 5 guys would probably be less than what would happen if they would send the trucks there and throw water on the dump before. So this is a good, we talked about this at length in the past,
Yeah.
that a landfill fire is different than a regular house fire, that's for
Yeah.
sure, so.
Excellent.
And congratulations, Peter, on being nominated chair.
It's the other highlight of that meeting. We've got a very capable Peter Fraze chairing.
Very nice. Thank you for agreeing to serve in that role, Pete.
I went there for a cup of coffee and a tour of the landfill. As exciting as it can be, it was actually quite good.
It is, yeah.
All those in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the MSTW Planning District minutes for October 2022 be received for information. Mover,
Dawn, fair?
second.
I can help.
Marvin, any comments, Don?
Actually, from last year, our number of permits has gone from 600 to this year 449 permits. We are doing quite well though, considering, because last year it was an anomaly because a lot of the permits that were being issued were like for decks and minor, minor permits. So that's kind of changed this year. So there's
Nice.
more houses and commercial buildings that are going up. Another note is that we're in talks with Town of Carmen and Armaduffin for doing Part 3 or Part 9 inspections there.
Excellent.
So we have one booked already, so it's another addition to our contract work.
You're still gonna be able to keep up?
Oh, yeah, it's not a problem.
So part 9 being small building inspections. Are you already doing part 3s for, or large building
Yeah,
inspections?
we're doing
for
the
them
large
already?
building inspections there, so
Okay.
there's talk of eventually doing the small building inspections as well.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, so you're doing part 3, talking about doing part 3 there now, but in the future doing part 9 there?
Right.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the part 3 stuff, that makes sense, that if they
Right,
have enough
yeah.
people for that, enough staff, but.
Okay. Any other questions or thoughts of Don? All those in favor? And that's carried. Be it resolved that the Discover Nature Sanctuary Committee minutes for August 2022 be received for information.
Marvin?
Peter?
Any thoughts on what you see in front of you?
Who's our rep on this committee now? Or is it just Jordan?
We don't have a council rep. just a
Was it,
staff
it used to
rep.
be Peter? Oh, that was for the city, that's right.
Either way, another committee that does lots and lots of work. All those in favor? Carried. Moving forward then to be it resolved that the Winkler Arts and Culture minutes from November 15th, 2022 be received for information. Mover.
Michael?
Second.
We'll need some help there.
Peter?
Thank you.
Okay. Anything to note there, Michael?
Nothing of note from the minutes, but hopefully, if everything goes as planned, they will have I believe it'll be a director in place tomorrow.
Excellent.
So they were wrapping up the details of that this evening, I'm told.
Excellent. Good for them.
Yeah, some stability be very good to have there again.
Perfect. Any other thoughts? Not seeing any. All those in favor? That is carried. And that brings us to our community spotlight. Opportunity to hear from Kevin about the Bunker Youth Ministry.
All right. Wondering where I was.
There you are.
Awesome.
Welcome here.
You bet. Thank you guys for having me here, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to personally thank you guys for all the support you've given our ministry, and in dealing with that, the support for youth in this community. We as the Bunker, our main purpose is to walk with youth towards a more positive place in life. And we try to do that through intentional relationships and programs. So what I want to talk to you a little bit tonight is some of the programs that we've currently got running. Currently we've got a Monday Night Gamers program, which is attenders from ages 16 up until our oldest, who is 84. And so obviously they don't just come and play first-person shooter games on a computer. They do a lot of board games, stuff like Settlers of Catan, a lot of card games. Every now and then they bring out Crokinole, stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a time where these different generations all get together in one place and they just play games and in turn build relationship through that. We've also got our Tuesday night junior youth program, which is for youth ages 12 to 15. And we've got about 15 youth that are currently in that program. It's one of those that's a little bit harder picking up steam on that one post-COVID, just because with being shut down for 2 years, the kids that would be able to come now in grade 6 were in grade 4 back then. And so yeah, there's been a little bit of a disconnect there, but Harold and Mike are working hard by going to some of the different elementary schools and promoting our program and just connecting with kids and starting to get familiar with who they are. Wednesday nights we have a slot car drag racing program, which is just 164 model cars that run on a scaled down 164 scaled down version of a quarter-mile racetrack, and we have that in the Bunker building. And so yeah, we've got 5 families that come with their kids as an entire group, and then a couple of random attenders that show up every Wednesday night, and yeah, we drag race cars.
So what powers these cars?
Electricity. They're on a track, and
Okay, just
yeah, it's just like the old time.
the old-fashioned oval track.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. You sit there, but instead of holding the trigger on those oval track ones and just ripping around till you fly off the track, this one you sit there and you've got the tree lights, and it's all staggered based on your times for your car. And lights go down, and when it hits green, you press the button, and it's all based on your reaction times. So very, very similar to real life drag racing.
Do you have like at the end that you have like a sensor to find out who is first or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they move so fast, you can't just look and see who.
Yeah, we had that in the Awana Club. We had that car races as well, like that soapbox car that we
Right.
made, and then right at the end we had sensors there that because a lot of times there was close call.
Yep. Yep. No, it's all, yeah, we've got sensors and they've got cameras, and so they can do slow motion and replays, and yeah, the kids and parents who show up for that really get a kick out of that one. And then on Friday nights, we have our senior youth program, which is for youth ages 15 to 23. Right now, we've got about 25 to 30 youth who are attending that one. So yeah, we've got that going on. We've also got a therapist who's using some of our space once a week for some play therapy with a couple of mentally handicapped kids who have a low-income single-parent family. And so she needs a space just once a month or so, a couple times a month, just to connect with these kids and do some play therapy for them. So we provide a space for her for that. And once a month, we also have Adult and Teen Challenge coming. They use our main space for a bigger praise and worship night with a couple of their addictions groups. So yeah, we definitely like to keep our building full. We like to keep it busy, and yeah, put it out there for community use as much as possible. So yeah, that's our programs. And yeah, one of our current big dream projects that we've got going on is our Industrial Eats restaurant that we are hoping to get started on shortly. We just see that as another opportunity for us to make an impact in this community for marginalized people. The plan is to have it staffed primarily by what would be categorized as marginalized people. Initially, we had talked about it just being for youth, but then as I've been talking about this concept of you know, providing decent employment for people who don't have opportunities in regular settings, I ended up getting a lot of feedback from seniors who expressed a huge interest to come and work there, because I have found out that not every senior wants to volunteer at MCC. And there's a lot of them that, through just the way society works, they feel they've been phased out of their normal occupations. Either they're too old, their schedules aren't flexible enough, they don't have the energy to make it through an 8-hour shift, whatever it is, right? They feel like they've been squeezed out. They feel like they've been marginalized in this community. And so then in thinking about that, I realized like that is such an awesome opportunity for intergenerational connections to happen. And so it's one of these things where it started as, you know, a dream that we had that was this big, and it just seems like it's expanding and growing, and it almost feels some days like it's out of control. But there's just so much huge potential that we see in this opportunity and in this project, that despite all the setbacks and obstacles and discouragement and everything that seems to be popping up, it really, we try to focus on the dream. We're trying to focus on the benefits of what this can be to so many people in this community. And yeah, we're excited to see it get started, and we're even more excited to see it finished. So that's kind of in a nutshell where we're at right now.
Got a comment for you, Kevin. Have you ever researched Pizza Ranch? Like they're in Grand Forks and other places, the franchise.
No, I haven't.
They, their philosophy is bringing in marginalized people to work as well.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so when you walk in, their statement of faith is right on the wall, which is quite impressive. And also that I did some research on them, and that's what they do is they have marginalized people that say either just come from jail or something like that and need a break.
Yeah.
Or feel marginalized in any way, then yeah, they allow them to work there and get them back on their feet again.
Right on. I will definitely check that out.
Just don't change from barbecue to pizza.
Oh, no, we are not adding another pizza restaurant to this city.
You've got the barbecue lane right now.
Yeah.
And it's a good lane for you to be in, and I would hate to have to try to find somewhere else to get.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not going into pizza or anything like that.
Perfect.
Any other questions?
Your Wednesday night racing, is that open to anyone?
Yes, you bet.
+1 apparently this next
Well,
Wednesday.
nope, not me. I know of some guys who are big into quarter mile stuff.
Yeah, that's no kidding, eh?
And I'll see if I can poke them a little bit to just get involved with the kids maybe a little bit.
Yep, for sure.
Or drag one of their kids along with them or something,
Yep.
right?
And that's why we have a lot of families in this, because what they do is they sit there and they build the cars, and then they modify them, and then they swap out motor parts and gears and tires, and it's been a really cool thing for families, like fathers to come. It was just dads and a couple of their kids, but now the wives show up, and there's some of the daughters that are in there. It's, yeah, a really
So
cool looking
When we were
program.
kids, we would actually have a race set, right? And we would just do the oval thing,
Uh-huh.
but we would put the slicks on there too, so we'd steal our sister's nail polish and we'd glue 2 wheels together or 3, and then you had the slicks, right? So,
Uh-huh.
yeah, we got creative, but
There you go.
What time do those evening programs run?
They all start at 7:30, and then they run till various times. Like
Oh, okay.
the Friday night one, because we've got older kids,
Right.
they run till 10:30. The slot car one, I think, is done by 9:30. Junior youth one is done at 9:30. gamers, they go till like 11. Yeah,
They
So
don't
way late.
yeah. It all depends how long you can handle it, yeah.
Okay, not seeing anything else, or Martin, sorry, you are.
Just an observation, like with our new logo, Dream, Build, Live, you've talked about dreaming, and then you're building these, your program and literally building cars and so on.
Yep.
For the sake of this, offering all of the participants and the community to live. So you're an example of what we preach.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, it is an irony of it. I hadn't really thought about it now till you mentioned it, but, yeah, I've been at the bunker now for 14 or 15 years. I don't even know, I've lost track. And a lot of it has just been dreams that I've had over the years, and it's been really honoring to see how I've been blessed in seeing so many of these dreams come to fruition. Right? And when you even think back at the history of the bunker, right? How it started in this little place on Main Street, and then it moved and progressed and it grew, and, you know, to where we are now, it's one of those things I would have never considered, but yeah, it's amazing how God is planting dreams and seeds, and really the hard part for me is the patience in waiting for it to be watered and grow and stuff like that. That's probably one of my biggest moments of discouragement, is when, yeah, I lose track of my patience. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Kevin, for the work that you and the Bunker Group do with youth in our community. It's very, very much appreciated, and we're happy to continue to support that.
Awesome, thank you, and yeah, truly, we really appreciate all your support. Great, thank you
Thanks,
guys.
Thank you, Kevin.
Do we have any questions, media or public? Have you got anything, Wendy? I'm not seeing any media here. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Also moved.
Don, second.
I'll second that.
Pete, all in favor?